From his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Always an honor and a privilege to have the Syracuse Orange alumni on the broadcast. We are proud on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora to feature numerous Syracuse players throughout all time. That the guys, basically, if you are here on this planet and you played Syracuse football, we're doing everything to get you on the show, from the Jim Browns to the Floyd Littles and Joe Morrises to what we have here right now wearing number 44, and that's Michael Owens, a teammate of one of my best friends, Rob Drummond, as well. Michael is on the line with us this morning to discuss Syracuse's success, heading to a bowl game, Eric Dungy, Coach Babers, and so much more. So without further ado, let's bring him on to the broadcast, a man who is in the history of Syracuse's 44 and in the history of Syracuse's success at running the ball. Michael, how you doing today?
Good. Good morning. Good morning there. Doing great.
So, Michael, I gotta ask you first and foremost. You said right before we came on off the air, you said it's about time we're doing things. How patient or impatient have you been for this Syracuse team to get back on the map again?
Well, it's kind of been up and down over the years. You're patient one week, you're impatient the next week. You're patient 1 year, you're impatient the next year. But, man, it's been rough. I've hanged in there. I had to put up with a lot of grief from a lot of my friends and things like that, but it's great to finally be back on track here.
And when you say you have to put up with a lot of grief from a lot of your friends, I've heard that from other guys, and guys like Shamarko Thomas that are in the NFL, that's because the teams are comprised of players from all over the place, that if he has a West Virginia teammate or a Clemson teammate or a Florida State teammate, always catching that negativity and catching kind of that attitude. How has it been for you? Because are you surrounded by a lot of anti-Syracuse? Are you surrounded by maybe some former Big East foes and whatnot that like to let you know when Syracuse wasn't playing well?
Well, first of all, I'm back here in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, so I'm surrounded by these 50 Lions fans everywhere I go. So yeah. I got to hear that all the time, and I always catch grief because I never went to Penn State. So, being from Pennsylvania, I always thought I should have went there. But, oh, yeah, I get it everywhere. Every Saturday, every weekend, I put my orange on to represent my team, and I let everybody know. And once they see the jersey, the 44, they recognize the name. Every once in a while, they be like, okay, here we go. This is Mr. Owens. Just play there. Oh. And then they give me grief. Oh, you guys haven't been relevant since you played, and things like that. So I have to hear it all the time, everywhere I go.
Well, the team has relevancy now nationally. They've been fighting to get back here for a long time. What can you say about what Dino Babers has done, the job that he has put forward for Syracuse? Syracuse, since Paul Pasqualoni, has had Greg Robinson, then Doug Marrone, then Scott Schaefer, and then, Dino Babers. He won 8 games combined in the first 2 seasons, 9 this season so far, with a hope for a 10th. What can you say about the job that Dino Babers has done, in your opinion?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, I believe I was on your show when I was up there, and I wasn't too high on him at the time, because I don't know if you remember, I wasn't a big fan of these 4 wide receivers and these empty backfields on third and shorts and things like that. So it took me a minute to grow on Dino, but I did my work, and I sit back and I watch and I let him do his work, and it seems like he's come around. The kids are buying into his system. I wasn't sure if that was going to work, but obviously the kids are buying in, because you can't get the 9 wins without buying into a system, not in the ACC. So it's just good that he's there, and I think he should be there for a while now.
Well, and that's the thing, is that, like you said, you were on the show a little bit ago. You took some time to kind of feel him out, and I know that a lot of the alumni have done that. There's the hashtag out there now, the hashtag #PayDino. Should Syracuse lock this thing up? I mean, some people it's no question, but there's always been the excuse from Syracuse that they don't have the money, or it's hard for them to find it or put it together, the way that the school is set up, the money doesn't go directly to the program, so this and that. Do you think that they need to lock up Dino Babers? I mean, have you seen enough to feel, as an alum of the school and of the program, that he's the guy?
I believe so. Like you said, his first 2 years, he won 4 games. Yeah, I think it's might be time to lock him up there. You don't want somebody else to get him. I did hear a little bit of talk, and his name being mentioned, some other job maybe. But I'm convinced, like I said, 4-4 the first 2 years, that we got 9 wins, and it looks like every time I turn that TV on, these guys are really bought into what he's doing. You can see the excitement in them, the excitement in the coaches. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to lock him up.
That coming from Michael Owens, wore number 44, played running back for Syracuse back just a few decades ago, and had a ton of success on teams that were either not losing or losing very sparingly from season to season, teams that were used to winning 11 games, 10 games, or whatnot. Michael, when you look at this team and you look at what they're doing right now, Eric Dungey, as the quarterback of this team, has not been able to finish a regular season. This time around, he had back spasms. He's in the hospital. He goes out of the Notre Dame game, and there's mum is the word on whether or not he's going to play. All of a sudden, right before the game, maybe Thursday practice or whatnot for a Saturday game, he's out there. He's doing his thing. He's suited up. They let him play. He has 6 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 3 passing. He finishes off the regular season. He did not allow his story to be taken away from him. He didn't allow it to be the 4th year out of 4 years where he doesn't finish up the season. What can you say about the fight of Eric Dungey and just, him coming and even being in that Boston College game, just what that says about him?
Oh, wow. He's Syracuse right now. There's no doubt about that. He's come a long way. He's been there for his 4 years. He's put in this time. He's put in the work. You can see how his body, his mind has grown as he has played and gone over the years. To me, I thought we should have played better against Notre Dame without him. But you can tell without him, we struggle. Offensively, we struggle. As a team, we struggle. He's our leader. He's been the leader. It was great to have him. I'm glad that he's going to be able to finish up this year. I look forward to watching him play his last game in the bowl game. And I'm just wishing him the best of luck, and I hope he can stay healthy for these last couple of weeks there so he can finish up nice and strong.
Is he, in your opinion, an NFL player? Is he an NFL quarterback? If you were an NFL team, what would you do?
I got to bring him in. The man's played quarterback. I hate that thing when they say a kid is not able to play. He throws a good football. There's no doubt about that. Any guy who's played at a Division I 4-year college, I think, deserves a shot to play the NFL at his position.
And
There's no doubt about that.
Simple enough as that. He's got the dog mentality, and he's going to fight for every single yard, so I agree with that. Before we hop out of here with Michael Owens, Michael, just what you can say about your, through your eyes, because of when you played. You played back in the 80s, and the team was supposed to be good. The team was supposed to win games. And at the same time, when you played up against, those top teams and the SEC and whatnot, you weren't supposed to win that game. So Syracuse had some respect, yet they were supposed to stay in their lane. Where Syracuse now had little to no respect, and a lot of fans had kind of dipped out and hadn't come back to the Dome. And so they were losing respect from their fans, and they weren't expected to beat those top teams. So we've seen a change over the time that you were there. You had respect, but you still weren't supposed to beat the SEC. You still weren't supposed to be able to hang with certain teams. What can you say about that experience and then what you saw from the team now? Because Syracuse had some respect when you were there, but they still were supposed to, quote-unquote, stay in their lane.
Well, when I was there, we did have a lot of great talent. And the teams that we were expected to play with and compete against, we did so. The teams that we were expected to lose against, we also competed and beat. My 3 years I was there, we lost 6 games the 3 years I was there. So, we got used to winning. We had a mentality to win, to go out and play for each other. And that's exactly what we did. And over the years, it wasn't always there. And like I said, I believe they had that now. They had that mentality. They're used to winning. They're up and down here and there. You play Clemson tough, and to me, you come back, you give up so many we found that consistency. We didn't go on that little 2-3 game losing streak after that Clemson loss. You know, usually things like that would put us up to a little losing streak. But I think we overcame that little hump there. We made that next step, and I think they're back to their winning ways. There's no doubt about it.
What makes you excited about what's to come? I mean, they're going to have, obviously, more money coming to the program, more exposure coming to the program, more practices coming to the program. But to this senior class, what makes you excited about, the team as a whole, but to this senior class that literally it looked like they were never going to go to a bowl game? It was 4-8, 4-8, 4-8. It looked like these guys were going to graduate without ever getting to feel that. So just a final word on this senior class and these guys that tried to see light at the end of the tunnel, but it was a very long tunnel.
Well, it was a long tunnel, but the light is there. These guys have fought, they worked, they trained. These seniors, I'm very proud of them. They've earned this trip they're going to be taking here in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, whenever it is. They've earned it, and they deserve it. They worked hard. And Dino, I'm going to say Dino. Dino brought it all together. There's no doubt about it. I was skeptical, but it looks like they bought into what Dino's doing. And when you watch Dino, he gives the speeches. You see how the kids react to him, how he reacts to the kids. I think it's just great. And right now, Dino's the key. So I think we just need to keep around there. And the kids, looks like the kids love him.
That coming from Michael Owens. Michael Owens, number 44, running back in the history of Syracuse, playing in the 80s. Michael, as always, I appreciate you. I respect you. Let's make sure that there's a lot less time in between now and the next time you come on to the show, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for having me.
All right, take care.
Go Cubes.